Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 331. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Maisto Toys Ultimate Marvel Series X-Men's Rogue Chrysler Prowler Diecast Vehicle. This diecast Ultimate Marvel Chrysler Prowler is all decked out for the superpowered X-Man known as Rogue. This convertible Prowler is super stylish and flashy, just like its hero counterpart. From the Ultimate Marvel Series 1, this is the Maisto number 7 of 25 and features a beautiful image of Rogue on the hood, with her name splashed down the sides, letting everyone know this is a Rogue masterpiece. Licensed by Marvel, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge, and also released in 2002 by Maisto Collectibles. Now, the comic of the day is X-Men Annual, Volume 1, Issue number 10, released in 1986, but with a cover date of January 1987, with story by Chris Claremont, art by Arthur Adams, and cover by Arthur Adams. This issue is titled Performance. The X-Men are playing a unique style of tag in the Danger Room, trying to get one of them to touch the Master of Magnetism, Magneto, but they fail. Cypher, Betsy, and Sunspot are watching from the control room. This necessarily means that Mojo is also watching. Mojo decides he needs to increase ratings, so he sends in Longshot and a blast of electroplasmic goop directly into their Danger Room session. Longshot is unconscious, clearly not human as he has 2 heartbeats and 3 fingers on each hand, and is taken to the medical lab. But the goop disappears before it can be analyzed, so the X-Men go to bed. In the morning, it quickly becomes apparent to the New Mutants, but not the X-Men themselves at first, that the X-Men are getting younger. The female X-Men mostly fall in love with Longshot, while Warlock and Cypher do their investigating in the Danger Room. Betsy figures out who the bad guy is, and Magneto and the X-Men leave to find him, getting younger and more childish all the time. Knocking out the New Mutants when they try to stop them, Warlock and Cypher also figure out who's responsible on their own. The X-Men drive the X-Mansion's Rolls Royce to Central Park. Kitty apparently going poop in her costume at least twice due to her de-aging, and when they hop out, the older X-Men are about the size of 6-year-olds. While Kitty is not much more than a diaper-dependent baby, Magneto helps them escape New York police, and they run off through the park. Storm heads off on her own, and the rest follow her to a building, where she's already picked the lock before they got there. Then they find Mojo, and the 9 children become all too eager to listen to him. Back in the mansion, Lockheed wakes Danny up, just in time to answer the door. It's the police reporting that the Rolls Royce is in Central Park. Later, after all the New Mutants are up, they resolve to go after the X-Men. Danny gives them their graduation costumes, and Ileana tries to teleport them to Central Park. Except they end up on stage in a theater, thanks to Spiral. There, the now rapidly aging X-Men, clad in new costumes and brainwashed by Mojo, attack the New Mutants, Warlock quickly becoming taken down by Magneto. The battle occurs with the audience captive thanks to Spiral's magic, and the X-Men are winning. But things soon turn to the New Mutants' favor when Rogue uses her power on Sunspot, only to discover something is wrong with her thoughts and his memories of her don't match, which starts to release her from Mojo's brainwashing. Magic, after stabbing Logan with their soul sword, realizes that whatever Mojo and Spiral have done to control the X-Men must be a form of sorcery, as her sword can only affect magic and/or arcane objects and beings. She decides to take the fight to Mojo, only to be quickly captured by him upon teleporting to his location on the stage. Down below, Karma tries to possess Logan in order to free him, only for Wolverine to resist. However, before he can injure her or kill her, Karma manages to snap him out of Mojo's control by encouraging him to remember his real self. Nearby, Doug does the same with Psylocke by revealing his romantic feelings for her via telepathy. Betsy becomes normal as well. A few minutes later, Kitty notices Ileana's situation, which breaks her free of Mojo's brainwashing, and she moves to aid her best friend. The other X-Men, Magneto, Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Longshot, are then released from Mojo's control after Kitty disrupts Mojo's chair while saving Ileana. The X-Men and New Mutants turn their attack on Mojo, doing some damage, but he teleports away before they can do any serious injury to him. They do capture Spiral, however, and she undoes the effects of the battle. Mojo, off in the Wild Ways, smiles as the approval rating of his X-Men show goes through the roof. Geek Fact: this is considered a key issue, being the first appearance of the X-Babies, where the X-Men are turned into children, and Longshot also joins the X-Men. Mini-side Geek Fact: this was the only issue the future New Mutants would be called the Graduated X-Men. Bonus Geek Fact: there were many background New Yorkers in this issue, including Puddlegulp, whose name is Simon Walderson, a human cursed by a mystic who's turned into a frog. He later receives a sliver of Mjolnir, which turns into a mini version of Mjolnir, called Frognir, granting Puddlegulp the powers of Thor. Two others appearing in this story were the news reporter, Lois Lane, and her mild-mannered colleague, Clark Kent. Another bonus geek fact: in past storylines, I have touched on Mojo and Spiral, but in this issue, we have Major Domo. Domo is Mojo's right-hand man, and he's full of sarcastic wit, and Major Domo is one of the only people who can get away with criticizing Mojo, usually because he's too distracted to notice. And final geek fact: not only is this issue a cover homage to Giant Size X-Men issue number 1 from May of 1975, this issue actually takes place before the Mutant Massacre event. The Mutant Massacre event is when Mr. Sinister orders his assassins to execute all the Morlocks, who were a peaceful mutant tribe living in the New York City sewer tunnels. The X-Men, X-Factor, New Mutants, Power Pack, Thor, and Daredevil all tried in vain to stop the massacre with no success. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. This is Cat Fan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.